A Lloydminster company has been fined $2,800 after pleading guilty under occupational health and safety legislation. Frontier Glass and Door Limited was charged with failing to ensure that a portable ladder was secured against accidental movement. An incident happened back in October of last year where a worker slipped and fell off a ladder, sustaining serious injuries. 2 other charges were withdrawn. While it's a continuing problem across our region, the wait for elderly lodging after residents outgrow the Level 2 facility at Pioneer Lodge, there's nowhere for them to go, leading staff to propose a change. Anna Knotveit has more.
The needs have just got worse and worse. 2 years ago, we were moving people from outside of our zone for them to get help they needed. It's now coming to a point that there is no beds.
Joyce Bell says they have been concerned for the past few years as it's a safety issue. The lodge is a Level 2 care facility and staff aren't set up to deal with more complex medical needs.
We are strictly a housing facility. None of our team is medically trained. We are there to take care of the mundane daily tasks. So to have individuals that may need assistance in toiletry, that is just past our team.
Points West is a Level 4 facility and neighboring towns don't have room for residents moving from Lloydminster. What can they do? They are proposing to add 40 Level 3 rooms. This expansion would cost $5 million. David Fan, the CEO for Prairie North Health Region, says this is the first time they've heard of the project and are supportive.
The question has always been, how do we go about getting the right attention from both Saskatchewan and Alberta and the right kind of funding to make it happen.
35% of our residents at the lodge comes to us from our Saskatchewan neighbors. We haven't been successful in the past, but hopefully with the new MLA, maybe we'll have a more local ear.
She adds best case scenario would be breaking ground for the new expansion this spring, but many decisions about funding will have to be made before then. Anna Knotveit, Newcap News.
When it comes to reaching potential, you need to keep up with cutting-edge technology, and agriculture isn't any different. In this week's Ag Report, Graham McCann went to the ADM Farm Show and saw how some farmers are getting ahead.
It may be a technology in its infancy, but 3D printers are already showing promise to agricultural producers in Canada. Javelin Technologies was at the ADM Farm Show on Wednesday to demonstrate these machines to many people that have a practical use for them.
A lot of times you're going to have old equipment that you might not be able to find a part for, or it'd be too costly or difficult to machine, so you can just design it up in SolidWorks real quick and print it out.
This turned out to be a great idea for Ron Plett, a collector of antique tractors.
It's ideal for applications of unique parts that you cannot readily find. For example, this nose cone right here would be one of the examples that is getting progressively more difficult to find. Or maybe there is the bowl for the oil bath bowl, and you could recreate that.
The capability of being able to produce that specific part for an old car or a tractor, it's going to be kind of revolutionize being able to restore stuff.
Currently, the machines run from $6,000 to around $30,000, but this is a technology that can potentially blossom to something very common as they evolve within the next 15 years. The printers create objects out of ABS plastic, which is common in toys, for example. The material is strong, but can't substitute for something that calls for steel. But it's possible that in the future different materials will be used in 3D printing.
I think everybody's going to have one in their shop. You're going to be printing off small fixtures, small pieces.
Yeah, downtime is so important. Being able to possibly build a piece, print it off and plug it back on the machine and go would be a great benefit.
Graham McCann, Newcap News.